Hi, this is Jody from Zengage. I'd like to tell you about QueryUpdater, the easy way to bulk update your iMIS data. These are your staff. They very often need to update multiple contact records at one time, and they need to do it via the web. But not only that, you may have multiple staff sitting in remote locations who want to do it via your public website. Well, now you can do this with QueryUpdater. It's the only iMIS tool that allows you to update any business object data, to filter the rows shown in that business object, and to do a bulk update on all the values at once, or do inline updates in an Excel grid-like format. And all of this is contained in a single iMIS iPart for RISE websites. Let's have a look at that a little bit more closely. So here I am sitting in a RISE website, and simply click a link, and I'm presented with a page of information shown in a business object. In this case, this is the business object written on the name table. And I can see I'm displaying the full name, the title, and the gender. Now, the full name I'm displaying, and I've got that as read-only, whereas the title and gender I can update. And in fact, the title I've made a drop-down list based on the gen tables in iMIS. So I can update any of that information I want to, scroll to the bottom and click Save. It'll update every row that is displayed on that page. So it's updating 20 rows of all the rows in the possible tables. So I can see there's still certain records that are remaining to be updated if I want to do that. Now, what I can also do is I could maybe select all the records, or perhaps just a handful of records, and say, actually, I want to apply a bulk change to these records, and I want to make them all a data processing manager. I can apply that to the selected items, review my change, and when I'm happy, click Save, and that will go away and do the update for me to the 20 rows of data that are displayed. Here's another example of doing something like this. This is based on doing renewals manually. So again, I've got a list of objects in the name table. Now in this table, you'll notice that I'm displaying the name, the member type, and the paid through and renewed through dates. And again, I could change those dates manually and just change them to any value I want manually, and click Save at the bottom of the page again. However, what I might want to do is actually filter by the member type of M, for example. So I can do manual filters, pretty much like a query, get the results, and then say, okay, for these three values now, I want to update either the member type or the paid through date or the renewed through date. And in the same way that I did before, apply those and save them to the database. So those are two very simple examples of how the QueryUpdater could work. And you'll notice they're both working on public sites, they work in staff sites as well. If I look at the iPart itself and how do we configure that, here's the QueryUpdater iPart. Firstly, I can allow this multiple selection and bulk updating or not. If I have that unticked, it's just inline editing. If I've got that ticked, you get the sections at the bottom which allow you to apply mass updates. I can also choose to allow filtering, inline filtering at the top of each row or not, and the number of rows per page. But over here is where we're really seeing the meat of this iPart. And here's where I choose the business object that I want to update. Here are all the rows that are displayed in that business object. And I must have a primary key determined in my business object in order for this to work. I can choose which rows to display or not. I can give their display name, a sort order, and I can choose to ascending, descending on any of those ones, and again choose which of them to sort by first. I can choose which fields I want to be updatable. So ticking these will make them updatable, untick means read only, and then choose whether I want my entry to be a free-form entry or a free-form with data validation, and I could give the validation entries, or perhaps a combo box drop-down with values based on an IQA or a SQL statement, or even a generic table. Looking further along this, I can also see how do I want that to be displayed as for a multi-line text box or a single line text box, or how do I want my dates displayed? And then if I wanted some additional filters at the top of the page, I could choose that, okay, here I want to actually filter by member type, and I want that to be an optional filter that people can enter at the top of the page. And do I want that to be a combo box or just free entry on member type? And then I could actually enter values if I wanted to pre-populate those. So that is how we configure that iPart. And that is how we get this value out of being able to update any business object data in iMIS via the web. If you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us. We're happy to talk about it and give you a bit more information. Thank you.